Hello traders, welcome to the weekly Outlook and Setups volume 171. Iliya here, and as always I'm really happy to welcome you on the Trading Fanatic channel. You know what we're gonna do in this video. We're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what kind of opportunities we had, and most importantly what we can expect for the upcoming week. Now this week, insane, right? With the CPI being released right now, we have a very massive drop on the Dixie and a massive expansion across the other pairs, also the stocks, and pretty much a risk-on perspective right now. But for how long it's gonna go, we're gonna explore this in this video. I have a break-even week this week. It was very tricky to trade Monday and Wednesday. There were of course a couple of trades. Then on Thursday we had the release. It was choppy all day. We had the release, and then Friday there were also some nice continuation trades, but I didn't bother to trade as much. Yeah, because it was already a very funny week, and it has been like this for a couple of weeks. Personally, I struggle a little bit with finding some textbook setups. My community does as well, but we're overall profitable because all we need is just one or two trades to bring back all the losses. And of course, if any of you is having a tough period right now trading, maybe on the losing streak, don't lose hope. Just focus on the long term. The market is gonna get back to normal because it's currently just being driven by a lot of news, right? And there are periods like this which actually test your discipline, your dedication, and your risk management. So again, let it go and focus on the next trade, right? If you're new to this channel, it's all about trading. I post this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week I give my best to share an educational piece of content or a trading setups breakdown video. So make sure you're subscribed and turn on the notification bell in order not to miss when those videos are released. And if you already did, well, let's get into the analysis. Alright, as always, we're gonna get started with a Dixie, which is gonna give us a hard time to analyze because the majority of the pairs right now are in a big push phase, which always makes it hard, and pretty much my analysis will be straightforward. Before we jump onto the Dixie, I want to shout out my amazing broker, Forex.com. They're great. They have all the currencies, all the assets, all the equities, all the cryptos as well that you want to trade, with great spreads as well. But make sure to pick their eco account. You're gonna pay a little bit of commission. You're still gonna have the tight spreads, but every single lot that you trade will go towards planting 10 trees. They're following up on their initiative on their website, so make sure to visit their website through the link in my bio and open your eco account, and let's support the first green broker, right? So Dixie, well, as you can see, we have a very massive bearish engulfing candle, and we were forecasting a little bit of a bearish move, although we were tapping inside this demand zone right there, right? But as you can see, the market just tapped it, reacted from it, and then it just massively dropped to the downside, which in turn right now makes this a supply zone, right? Because when demand kicks in right there, and when they have that interaction, so you can see the market actually tapped, I think 2 times right there, like first time tap, second time tap, massive reaction, and then it dropped, right? So pretty much here, this is a buy to sell area that creates a very nice and strong supply. However, we can of course ask the very important question right now: is this a shift of the trend? Well, to me, it's not really, because on the hard time frames, I look to see at least like one more candle of a pullback. Here we have just 1 week of a pullback and a continuation, but I have specific rules for this on the hourly, on the 50-minute, and not on the daily and the weekly. So even to me right now, it is hard to determine whether this is a trend change, so we can actually really say, okay, Dixie is short. Why? Because look at this pullback right there. This is a proper pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, 6 candles in the range, and then the 7th actually broke. So this right there is a proper pullback. And as I actually draw right now, the demand zone that is actually being made by this pullback, we are just tapping inside. So very interesting, right? This is around 106, 107 key numbers, around 105 as well is within this demand zone. So I'm very interested to see what is gonna happen right there, right? Then dropping onto the daily, we're not gonna have a lot to extract, but something that I want to point out to your attention is actually again reading price and trying to be logical. So if you remember this zone right there, let me just draw it. This zone was actually the last daily zone that we have, and as you can see, this zone wasn't broken on all those 3 occasions. But what actually happens, so a lot of times the market is gonna tap inside a zone, try to push, fail to push, then it's gonna come take out the low, and then it's gonna push, right? But this is also the daily. This works on the 50-minute, it works on the hourly. The market tried to push, failed to take out the low, right? Then it pulls back again, cool. tries to push, it retains below the lows, right? So what is happening right there? We're starting to have a little bit of bearish order flow kicking in, right? The market is respecting the highs and actually creating lower highs, right? And failing to break above those highs. So this immediately tells us, well, maybe sellers are starting to get into control and buyers are struggling. So again, you can see this was potentially the last zone that we can maybe look at the 4-hourly time frame. The market dropped, last response from this level, and then it was actually Thursday that we just offloaded all the positions. And again, guys, people well, not people, but probably banks, the big institutions and stuff, they probably know what the CPI will be, so they just stack, and when Thursday comes in, it just boom, right? Massively initiate lower, and as you can see, 2 massive consecutive days to the downside. So again, we're tapping inside this zone, so what we have to do right now is drop to the 4-hourly time frame and of course see what we can expect. What is strange to me is if I just take you on my other screen to the CPI inflation data, American inflation right there, 7.75%. Again, American inflation is considered to be one of the most important kind of, I don't want to say benchmark, but it's, yeah, whatever the inflation is in America, the market reacts, right? But I want to bring to your attention, UK inflation, 8.81. European inflation, almost 10%. Right, so you can see the inflation is much higher in the other key countries right there. Continents, actually. So, again, this big reaction, this makes me think, okay, well, Europe has a very big debt, right? England is also in a very tricky situation right now with prime ministers and stuff. They can't also cope with inflation. They're also hiking their interest rates. So also the other countries are really bad right now. But again, right now, investors are perceiving the dollar, America, to be the worst. Hence why we have that risk-on perspective and this big push, right? Why I tell you this is because I believe this is going to be short-lived, right? I don't think the market is just going to plummet right now on the Dixie and the stock market is going to explode because every economy is really shitty right now, right? So again, for how long this is going to go, I don't know. Or is it just a very massive pullback, pulling us back towards like, even if I go to the monthly and then stuff, we explore that the monthly is in a very massive push phase, right? In fact, if we take it from the low to the high, you can see we're potentially maybe traveling towards around 50% because the Dixie just cannot push for much longer, right? It's been pushing for quite a while, so it has to offload a little bit. And I do believe this is the catalyst right now to offload those positions and to get a little bit of a shorts, right? And pretty much right now, my analysis is going to be the same on every pair, right? So we had like a little bit of a bullish shift, and then we just massively broke to the downside right there. Here we have a little bit of a gap, which again, is it a lower high? Is it not? It's not clean, but I just can mark it as a lower high. And pretty much, guys, we have a massive push phase. So I don't know what to tell you, right? What could happen is we can have a little reaction, lower low. Then, of course, for longs, I'm going to be looking for a 4-hourly shift and then to potentially start trading that pullback. But if the market actually gives me any pullback right there and starts forming a lower high and shifting on the 50-minute, I'm just going to go short. I'm going with the momentum right now. And Friday was a good day to go with momentum on EURUSD, on this one as well. Unfortunately, I had to look at 2 entries. They didn't provide, but there was one late in the day that provided. You can see from here we have a push pullback. There we break right there. So it just kept retesting, right? So you could have definitely taken some shorts on Friday. But yeah, so back to the analysis. Again, guys, we're in this massive push phase right now. So there we just have to wait. We just have to wait. And I hate it when it's like this, when Friday closes with a massive push or massive dump, because we have to wait, right? But that is the game. We have to wait. Let's wait for the pullback. Maybe the market continues to push lower. Well, while if it continues, then I just keep following it down. But if it pulls back, then I will be looking to short, right? Longs don't make much sense right now, although we are at a very strong weekly demand zone. But again, this can just give us the pullback in order to continue going lower. So again, focus on what is happening right now and keep following the flow, right? So bearish Dixie, very bearish dollar right now, which is of course going to dictate what all the other pairs are doing. So let's see the correlation. All right, Euro USD. So as you can see, exactly the opposite to the Dixie, a massive bullish engulfing candle. So pretty much this, if you remember, this was our last weekly supply. As you can see, the market came in, rejected, and massively reacted for a week, right? But printed as a very just pulled back. It looks like it just pulled back to retest something right there, and then it just closed very bullishly. And you can see the market open, created a little wick down, and then massively expanded. So this is very, very, very bullish pressure. And again, exactly the same as with the Dixie, this is kind of to me the valid lower high, but we also have this very clean here as well, right? So we can say that it's either this your weekly reversal, your weekly trend change, or it could be this one. But this one is just, it's just like a 20 pips away from breaking. So I do think we can say that Euro USD is turning bullish on the weekly as well. And again, remember the monthly, very low, very low, right? And yeah, pretty much if you just drop similar to the Dixie a little range, we can potentially expect a little bit of a pullback. So again, maybe this is the catalyst to do so. Okay, so what I can do right now is I can potentially even take this weekly demand zone and try to see what I can do with it on the daily. Well, nothing much. This is why I don't like drawing big supply and demand zones, because they're way too big. So here we see we pushed to the downside on the daily. Did we actually break or not? Yeah, we kind of wicked it a little bit, then we responded with a little sell-off, and then we bought. So this to me is a very nice base. So we have this base rally right there. And as you can see how the market was stacking right here. So we had a lower low, lower high, tries to push, fails, and it actually breaks above the structure, but it tapped deeper into this supply. Then I thought, okay, well, maybe the shorts are gonna kick in right now. They pull back again, but failed to break the low right here, and then just massively expand. So it was cooking for this, but of course we cannot know it in advance. Right now in hindsight, it's very easy to say, but of course when the market was playing out, what I just kept doing is just following the Forex. The Forex was very bearish. Here we actually shifted. To me, we shifted bullish right there, so I was looking for some longs, but as you can see, like, yeah, Monday started with a nice push, then there was a long trade right there on Tuesday to take. Nice, and then Wednesday was pretty choppy. Then Thursday kind of made the move lower and then just expanded, and then Friday was what was a very nice continuation. So getting pretty much to the setup. Well, yeah, there is a little zone like this, similar to what we spotted on the Dixie, and it's just a push phase right now. So in this push phase, I don't know what to do, right? Well, I pretty much know what to do. I either wait for a bigger pullback towards the demand zone, I either wait for a 30% pullback, right, and then just to find the base, then the 50-minute to start trending up, and I'm gonna continue with it. Or I wait, yeah, for just a new range to be created and then to start trading as the market starts forming new hourly structure. There is a lot of ways to trade this, okay? But again, we have to wait because we don't know what's gonna happen. The market can start with a massive drop, which is gonna be good, right? Either to this level or to this level. I'm gonna be looking for longs potentially if the 50-minute aligns. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing more to say. That's it. Right, that's it for your USD. Just a massive push, so I'm gonna be looking for the pullbacks and to potentially see if I can trend follow those beautiful bullish legs right now. It's actually just starting out right now. Yeah, it's a bit hard because we have to also look at timeframes, and timeframes are also tricky because we have pushes right here, so it's hard to measure any waves because I usually use the Elliott wave theory, right? You can see it's probably worked right here as well, although we had a couple of more. Right, so kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, here we had quite some more, but here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is actually the 5th wave that we're doing, and the 5th wave is very massive. So again, it's even hard to forecast what is going to happen in terms of the waves. Okay, so that's your USD. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm not going to break down my trades because I don't think there is much value. I can just very briefly show you what I did. So I took a trade on Tuesday, which was a loss. So I actually wanted to long this one, but I longed it at the wrong time, right there around 12 o'clock. The long actually came in around, yeah, 4 o'clock, so I longed it right there. It was a nice 50-minute alignment for me. Then the market pulled back. We created a new 50-minute break. Then it pulls back into the recent demand zone, so I took it from there. But then the market tapped into the actual demand zone that actually potentially formed the 4-hourly higher low right there. And then there was a long trade that I missed, which was this one. But as you can see, it was getting very sloppy, so I kind of lost focus, and it was just not looking so much clean, so I actually missed this one because I was looking for a little bit more of a development. This is my trade, 50-minute breakout structure, retest, accumulation of liquidity, right? So we accumulated liquidity, we created a trend change, the market retest, it was just immediate stop loss right there, right? Pulls back, goes deeper, and actually breaks my zone. Then it comes in for a potential short, but no entry setup was provided. Then it actually tapped into this big zone. I was looking to long from here, but the market did not pull back enough, and then it just started doing this, and I skipped this one right there. I saw it, but I skipped it, which was actually the profitable trade. So very unsatisfied. Sometimes I just love trading specific weeks, but sometimes it's just so messy, right? And this was one of the weeks, right? Very messy, and also the past one. And then I had a winner right there. but I took it with lower risk because it was without a confirmation. So 50-minute bearish, this is my zone that I wanted to trade from, and by the time I was looking for my 1 minute entry, I've spotted that when it starts doing this, right, it usually goes aggressive, and this time it worked out, so I just took it. Although one of my rules wasn't met, I took it from here and I placed a very big stop loss, which is a 6.3 pips. For me, it's big. And then by the time the rules actually developed, I was looking to take it from here, but unfortunately it didn't come back. So probably I could have taken it like this with another 6.3 pip stop loss in order to get a nice risk to reward with proper risk, but I didn't take it. So that is my trade, and I took it at 4R. At 4R, I took it at 4R. I regret it a little bit because it actually went to 7, I think, at the end, but that's fine, right? I took 4R and I pretty much called it a day. I was happy I brought back my loss from yesterday, and it also gave me a little bit on top, but yeah, I was just not loving. I wasn't feeling it, so I stopped trading. And then, as you can see, every day we had some sort of a, like here you can see, boom, boom, just what is this? Right, just massive liquidation. Then the market started bearish right there, chop, 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 and then expanded. And then on Friday, there were a couple of setups that I could have taken, but I just didn't even bother to look at Friday, right? So that is my week, and that is Euro USD. Let's hope we have some better ones incoming, because I really want to take some good trades. So let's hope we get them. Let's have a look at Euro Yen. So starting on the weekly time frame, we're currently in a pullback phase, and if we just simply drop our weekly range, there it is, we are just tapping 50%. So very nice, again, bullish market on the weekly. Let's drop on the daily, and the daily, you can see it's very tricky. It's been stuck in this range for quite a while, and very tricky to read what is happening right here. So pretty much right now we're going to be tapping into this, which is kind of a weekly demand zone. Can I take it? Yeah, I need a 1 week, but on the 1 week is way too big. So maybe I need like a 3-day time frame. Yeah, 3 days, it's good. So this is a potential zone that we're about to be tapping. Oops, what did I do? So let's go back to EJ. And potentially we can say it's bullish right now, but again, it needs development. It definitely needs development. So as you can see on the 4-hourly time frame, it was very messy and very hard to trade right there with this big dump. But pretty much it was actually this massive spike right there that caused the 4-hourly reversal. And then this turned into the 4-hourly supply. And as you can see, we came in a couple of times, we came in again right there, and pretty much it went shorts, which is as expected with the 4-hourly alignment, but it was very hard to trade. Okay, so what we have right now is finally actually a valid lower low right there. Why? Well, because the 4-hourly shifted here, and all of this right there was internal structure of this push right there. So this is why it was very tricky to trade this one. But here we broke it, we created a lower high, right now we created a lower low, which is great. So we have a brand new supply zone, and we have a brand new lower high right there. Okay, so I keep following this as long as it goes, right? You see also here on the 4-hourly time frame, we have a very nice area right there. This is actually where the orders were launched, because look at this, it chop, 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 chop. Some 2 huge wicks right there, and this is where we came in, right? This is where the move started, and as you can see, pretty much we came in right here. And again, right now it's gonna be about the battle of supply and demand. We're tapping into massive 3 daily demand, weekly demand, right? But the 4-hourly right now is bearish. So to me, what I'm always looking for is for the 4-hourly to first align. So I would be looking for a 4-hourly trend change, and then potentially to start looking longs if the bias will be long. If not, then I just keep following the 4-hourly. So this is one of my scenarios. This is my second scenario. That's it, nothing more. I'm not gonna be dropping to the 50-minute because there is nothing on the 50-minute. You can see actually this 4-hourly push is exactly the same push that is on the 50-minute as well. Like this massive drop. So currently all of this is gonna be internal until we either break above this high or below this low. So if I get it right there, I will be curious to take a short because it's a 4-hourly supply. Right? If we break lower, then I'm just gonna keep adapting to it. Yeah, and this is actually maybe my third scenario. It can also immediately break, and then I'm just gonna be drawing a new lower high and trying to follow it until it, of course, TCs to the upside. So that's Euro JPY. It's bearish so far, and of course, yeah, daily and weekly are bullish, but in order to go bullish from that, we need to see alignment on the FOIC, personally for me. Okay, so that's Euro Yen. Let's see how it plays out. And again, the best bet is to go short and keep following the flow. However, we know Euro USD is massively bullish. So again, this one might struggle a little bit to go down. The Aussies are next, and we're gonna get started with Aussie dollar. Well, similar to all the other pairs, we have seen actually the NZD and the Aussie turn a bit bullish for like 3 weeks in a row, and this is the week that we actually rocketed, right? The rocket actually went to the skies from this week. So currently, what we have is the market pulling back around equilibrium of this recent weekly leg, right? So that is very important because once again, like if I go to the monthly, yeah, it's a bit debatable what is happening on the monthly. It's overall bearish. I'm not gonna go into a monthly analysis right now because I don't think it's worth it very much, especially for day traders. Weekly is the farthest that I can go, so the weekly is bearish. Right now we're pulling back towards this very strong supply zone, right? We're just starting to tap inside it. So again, is it gonna reverse? Is it not? We're only gonna know if we follow the lower time frames. So I think we can pull back a little bit deeper to start taking some little bits of liquidity. In terms of the daily, you can see this one, well, it was actually NZD/USD that shifted on the daily from here, right? This one did not. It actually shifted there. It gave a little pullback, which again, the pullback, where is it? 50%, and then we just massively explode for 2 days in a row. Right, so the Aussie and the NZDs kind of gave us a little bit of early hints. So maybe if you work out correlation, you see NZD starting to reverse, Aussie starting to reverse, then you're like, okay, maybe EU and AU and maybe EU and GU are also gonna reverse, right? So currently on the daily, we're bullish. This is the last daily demand zone. We're tapping inside a very big weekly supply zone, and as I always keep saying, it's right now about the battle of supply and demand. What is gonna happen when we tap inside this zone? Right. Personally, I'm looking for a slightly deeper tap inside 67.50 and even deeper into the zone. Only then I'm gonna start considering like a probably short, right? But currently, again, exactly the same to EU, where we have a massive push phase right now. So again, I see a little base candle right there that can be used as potential demand zone if you wish to go long. But again, we don't know what's gonna happen. It can keep pushing up, right? Then we just keep following. If it starts down, then of course I will be looking for longs, and yeah, pretty much that's it. If it pushes up and then it starts making new ranges, then I'm just gonna keep longing it, and yeah, it's all about the flow right now and following the structure. In terms of the development this week, where we can see Monday, this one was very tricky. Chop, 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 chop. Then it started reversing lower, but look at how it reversed. It just wiki, and then all of a sudden, boom. One candle took 1 day of price action right there, right? So rather massive, isn't it? So yes, this is how I look at the Aussie. Again, this weekly outlook, very simple. It's all push. So right now we just have to see what's gonna happen, and I don't know. We can pull back, we can continue pushing, we can start ranging as well. So once again, allow for the market to tell you what's gonna happen, and then you adapt to it. Aussie JPY. So this one is also kind of playing out a little bit short, but I just hate analyzing this pair. I don't know. I'm just tired of looking at this weekly range right there. But again, we know that it's, oh man, this is very, very, very tricky because we broke daily structure right there. We broke daily structure up right there. And since this daily break, look at that. So I cannot really read this. And technically the daily looks a bit bullish. Where did the daily actually break? Is it this? Is it this candle? Oh man, this is just tough. So let's try to go on the 40 time frame, which actually pushed down there, but this is a valid range. Break up, break down. So yeah, okay, well, it's bearish right now. It's actually bearish, and oh man, this is giving me a very hard time. This looks like was the last supply, but it's not a valid probably lower high because it just keeps breaking lower. Right now we have a valid pullback, and right now we have a valid range. Okay, so if I just come into what is happening precisely right now, the market is bearish on the 40 time frame. This is our lower high, and if I look to trade this pair, well, this is exactly the same as Euro-Yen. It is potentially tapping into some sort of a demand on the left, but yeah, it's at a lower low right now. So what I'm going to be looking for is for a lower high and to potentially short it, right? So that is my view on on AJ. I will be looking for a potential 50% pullback, and yes, as you can see, similar to EJ, the 15-minute leg on this one is also this. The 50-minute leg is the same as the 4-hourly leg, which does not happen often. So once again, this is all internal. Two things can happen. We can either make a new lower low, so then we follow it from here and short, or we can pull back towards this zone. You wait for alignment, and then you short it again. Right, so those are my two scenarios on AJ, and I really gave my best to actually figure this one out because it's very, very, very messy. So again, be careful once again because Aussie dollar is very bullish. This one is bearish because of USD JPY. So again, which one is gonna win? It's very hard. And this is why I don't trade JPYs, because they're always in this kind of tug of war between their main pair, which is also dollar in this example, and USD JPY. Okay, so be careful. Well, the NZDs are going to be pretty much the same as the Aussies, right? We're having a very nice push to the downside right there in the weekly. We're already above 50%. And what actually makes sense on this one is this very nice weekly candle. This is the last kind of bullish push before we massively broke to the downside. And all of these kind of wicks right there, they look pretty flat. So I would expect this one to go even a little bit higher. So dropping onto the daily, yes, there is going to be some sort of supply zones right there, but the mistake a lot of you might be doing, and what I did in the past, oh supply, oh supply, oh supply, and all of that stuff, and the market just keeps tapping these supply zones, reacting, and continues to make massive uptrend. Okay, so ignore what is on the left, focus on what is happening on the right. All right, so currently yeah, as I told you on this one, this actually was the best pair because it actually broke daily structure early on. It created this demand, it pulled back, gave us a long trade from right here, it broke structure again, and gave us a long trade from right there. Right, so very nice, very nice NZUSD. And right now it's in a massive push phase, and we know what's gonna happen. We're gonna drop to the 40 time frame. This is where we broke hourly structure. This, yeah, it could. This one is actually structure. It's valid. Very strange. So this is actually, yeah, I'm not gonna let you know my secret rules, but yeah, but this is a very strong demand zone right there. So if we pull back towards this, I'm definitely gonna be looking for longs. And if we actually break below this one, then that could indicate a little bit of a reversal sign, right? But then again, we're gonna be tapping into, yeah, we're gonna be tapping into this, which is a daily zone. So I'm gonna be very careful, right? So let's see, exactly the same analysis as EU, AU, and the ANU is pretty much the same. Bullish, a lot of things can happen. We can initiate a pullback, we can continue pushing up, we can start ranging, we don't know, right? So let's just wait for Monday to open and then we adapt and see what's going on. I'm not gonna go in depth in this one. Very simple right now. We have a break of structure right here, and we have a supply zone right there. We have a bearish range right here. That's it, right? It's already above 50%. It's already traveling towards, you can even make the zone bigger because this engulfing candle took out both of those two candles. So what I'm going to be doing right now is dropping onto the 15-minute, looking for liquidity to be generated within this zone right there. Then give me the impulse, and then of course I'm going to try to short it. Very simple. Actually, the NZDs look the best right now. This one looks even better on the foliage because here we weren't stuck in this matte consolidation. We actually went on and we broke structure here, we broke structure there, we shifted to bearish here, and we broke right there as well. Lower low, this was a lower high, right? So technically right now we have a new one, so it just keeps going down, which is good. So this is my outlook on NJ. It looks very short, similar to EJ and AJ. So let's see how they're going to play out, and they all depend on UJ, which we're going to have a look at right now. All right, look at that massive drop on USD JPY finally. Right, and we have been having a couple of pullbacks here along the way, but nothing like this one. And like, of course, this one is influenced by CPI, the bearish Dixie, and this one, of course, also falls. Technically, this is right now our weekly range. We're just crossing below 50%, and of course, the extreme zone, the extreme high low is right here. So still, technically, we are bullish on the weekly. Daily time frame, however, is turning bearish. Why? Well, because actually, if you have a look at it, this is where the daily shifted, because this right there is part of this whole daily push. All of this was internal, and this is where we broke. So daily is starting to turn bearish, right? But yeah, there's nothing much we can extract on the daily because, like, yeah, sure, this is our last supply, but the market is not going to pull back towards this to give us a short. It's going to keep forming right now new 4 hourly ranges, and we actually have a new one right there. So this is a valid breakout structure. This is a valid supply zone. So what I'm going to be looking for is for a simple pullback right there, and to potentially short it. Actually, looks pretty clean. This one looks pretty straightforward. It dropped base, it dropped again, created a new lower high. So what we can simply do is take our range, wait for 50%, and then start shorting it, right? What I have found out again, when you start having massive momentum, you can see this one did not even pull back to the 38.2. If I just drop it like this, right? Okay, very close. And this one, you can also expect something similar. But this one is going to pull back a little bit more potentially because it's already the second push. So again, if you measure the waves again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I will definitely expect another more drop to the downside. So JPY traders, I am short biased, and if you can manage to get a short, right now it's a good time as we're potentially traveling a little bit deeper towards this weekly demand zone. Okay, so very short on UJ. If it actually goes, potentially pairs like EJ, AJ, and NJ are also gonna go. So let's see how it's gonna play out. It looks good. Hopefully we get a short on it. Let's have a look at UCAT. Well, similar situation right there. We have actually had 4 bearish weeks in a row right there. And we're potentially traveling towards this little demand zone right here, which we're just potentially about to tap. To me, the weekly break occurred right there. So it's either this, the last zone, or it's either this, right? Again, you know, I want to always take clean pullbacks, and yeah, this one looks like a clean one, but this one looks even cleaner. So to me, it's a bit debatable which one is actually the major, right? But this is the weekly, so I don't care as much. Dropping onto the daily actually shifted. Yeah, the daily actually gave us a little bit of a sign. This was a break right there, and then we broke right here, although with a small wick. We pull back, lower high, and then we drop, right? So UCAT actually gave us a signs that it could potentially go down, okay? Here we have a break, and we have a supply zone, which is probably going to give us the supply zone on the hourly as well. If we don't have another one, well, yeah, we kind of have a little bit of a base right there, similar to all the pairs. So once again, yeah, this goes similar to all the pairs, as I said, right? Massive drop right now. We have this little base candle that I would love to short from, right? If this doesn't work, then of course we can look for a deeper zone, but I don't think it's going to pull back that deep, right? I think it's going to stop right there, then create a new lower low, and then of course we have to adapt and start following the new ranges. Okay, so that is UCAT. Very simple. Market structure is all you need, of course, with a couple of other things when it comes to the entry and liquidity. But yeah, this is how I look into it right now. It's bearish as it keeps traveling towards this zone. This zone is very big, so we don't know where it's gonna stop. But as long as it keeps going down on the foliage, well, we short. Okay, so that's UCAT. Very simple. Let's see if it gives us a short, and of course, stay tuned for Tuesday, in which we're gonna have a look at what is happening. Let's have a look at the GBPs, which I always find hard to analyze nowadays as well. So pretty much, this right there is our major lower high that we're traveling towards right now. We know that in terms of the weekly time frame, we're already way above 50% for quite a while, so we're pulling it back very deeply. We have this very nice candle right there. That is a very nice base, which also responded from supply on the left. So this is a very strong demand zone, but this is a weekly one. So when we drop on the daily, it's going to be way too big. And then of course, what we can do is just take this last one, right? But yeah, technically on the daily, we have also reversed bullish. So once again, you can see the tricky part about this one is that this is the daily high. Why? Well, because it's from here that we made this push, and all of this right there was internal. But even you can see within the internal, you have that bullish flow. So this immediately gives you the signs, okay, maybe we're about to break, right? But right now we just broke, which officially for me and my systematic rules has turned the daily to bullish. And of course, as I drop right now to the hourly, this price action looks familiar, right? We have a range right there and we have one below. So once again, looking for it to push even higher, but we don't know how it's going to play out. Is it going to keep pushing higher and making new ranges? Is it going to pull back to give us a long trade from right there? We don't know. But this is one of my favorite scenarios right here. If we pull back towards this zone, I'm going to definitely be looking for longs. But what could happen is you push up, maybe a little pullback, push up again, and then you just have to keep following the new hourly ranges. Okay, so that's GBP USD. Very straightforward, very, very, very easy. GJ is a little bit harder because, yeah, we see UJ falling right now. GJ is also forming another bearish candle. In terms of the daily, it is also reversing right now on the daily because this was the daily higher low that made this push. We stopped, reacted, but then right now we broke, which shifts the daily to bearish. And of course, the 40 time frame, which is of course our main guy, is also bearish right now, right? And again, very simply, similar to all the other pairs, this is our last structure break. This is our last supply zone, which we can trade off of. So again, exactly the same as all the JPYs right now. We can be looking for a pullback, lower high, and the continuation lower. There is nothing more to say on this one. And I'm not going to go and say, but this demand and this structure shift and all of this. All I care about every single day is I zoom in and I ask what is happening right now. Well, we have a downtrend. Where is the last lower high? It's this. So where do I want to short from here? That's it. Don't make it complicated, right? That's GJ to me. Again, pay attention that GU is very bullish. This one is very bearish. So again, you have that divergence and usually they should be going together. But of course, GJ is driven by UJ mainly right now. So as we just covered UJ, if USD JPY gave gives us a short, then the probability of all the other JPYs giving a short is high. So again, if you are a JPY traders, you always have to make sure to monitor UJ as well. So those are the JPY, the GBPs. I don't care about what is happening on this one. This one is usually very tricky, very choppy. It doesn't tell me a lot of information. So again, focusing on longs on GU and shorts on GJ. Let's see. All right, gold, going with the overall risk on perspective right now, we're having a very massive push to the upside. Of course, as forecasted, I was more bullish than bearish on gold. And this daily time frame played out very nicely. So again, we have this daily shift right there. The market pulled back and held from this extreme zone right there. Then we slightly aligned right there for a bit, but then we actually came in and took out this low by very little. But then again, we aligned bullish, and then since then we pushed very nicely up. And yeah, simply because this high right there failed to take out this low, I thought this one is gonna break, and analysis played out perfectly. So hopefully some of you are actually going long on this one. I thought of investing into gold, and I looked for some index funds, ETFs and stuff as well, because I was thinking to buy physical, but yeah, I don't know how to buy physical and later sell it. I don't know if it works like this, or to buy those gold bars. I don't know, right? But I also think gold is a good investment, especially as it was sitting down there, right? So I was looking at it right here, tapping into this beautiful zone, which is a very nice discount. And I was like, yeah, I would like to invest in gold, but I did not. But hopefully we're going to drop again. So then maybe then I'm going to make up my mind. So right now, again, it's bullish. So nothing more to say. This is the low on the daily. This is the high. These ones are just base candles that are potentially going to give us demand zones, right? And if I drop on the hourly time frame, this is daily demand, and we also have that same base right there. So again, gold very bullish right now. You can see guys, when momentum kicks in, what volatile pairs do. Just push, no pullback at all. Just range, massive push. No pullback at all. Range, massive push. Right, but we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Elliott wave is already completed. So right now we can expect a deeper pullback and then potentially to push higher. Okay, so monitor for that. I'm bullish on gold right now. Of course, we have a daily shift. We have hourly bullish from a very strong weekly demand. So what can I say? But again, how are we gonna trade it? I don't know. Okay, are we gonna pull back to this and react? Are we gonna pull back deeper and react? Are we gonna start making new hourly ranges? I don't know, right? So let's give it some time. Let's see. And of course, don't try to forecast, but try to react to the market. And of course, stay tuned for my Tuesday analysis, where we're going to have a look at what happened on Monday and try to adapt for the Tuesday. All right, finally, we're going to have a look at indices starting from US 30 Dow Jones. We have seen that this index has been the strongest. Why? Well, pretty much because those 30 companies are overall doing good. Unlike, for example, the tech index, the Nasdaq, which is the weakest, right? Which mainly consists like of tech companies, and the FANG, which is Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, which are massively down right now. This one has companies that are actually doing well, right? And it doesn't have a very big share, for example, Netflix and some other companies that are way too down. Right, so this is why it's very, very, very bullish, and it's the first one to actually tap into the weekly supply zone. So right now it's very key. We came in, responded to right now very nicely bullish. So are we gonna break above? Well, we have seen this happen a lot. Right here we have the same range and actually broke above, and that's when it flushed. Right, so we can expect a break above and then maybe a flush, but who knows? Right, who knows? I personally think we should have another drop lower, because again, this one is just risk on, right? Again, if I take it to my other chart, but this one is for the S&P, I believe, we went from 18 extreme fear to almost extreme greed right now. So this is just the pendulum, right? This is just the pendulum, right? If the market goes down, it goes up, goes down, it goes up, right? It's always going to return to the mean, below the mean and above the mean, and it's going to constantly keep switching between it. So I think right now, like, this is just a pullback, right, in order for us to reach even lower. Again, daily time frame, it's coming in very, very, very deep right now, and all that we're left right now is the hourly time frame. But once again, like, we started a little bit choppy on this one. Like you see, Monday pushed up, Tuesday some nice drop on Wednesday, and then Thursday came in a massive expansion, and then on Friday we kind of on Friday we didn't have a nice push. We kind of rejected for a little bit. So for me, this one is very hard to read right now, because we have this massive push, and technically this is going to be my forward range, right? You can of course try to find some sort of base. I think this one is a base candle right there. Maybe on another time frame it's gonna be, but personally I'm not day trading this one right now because it's in a very key zone, and fundamentally a lot of things can happen. We can continue pushing higher. I don't also have a clean hourly zone to trade off of, so we can of course go to the 50-minute and trade, which is a different story, which you can see here. We actually came in, responded, and we're already shifting the structure, so you can only be looking for longs, but that will be very risky and stupid to do. So again, be careful and give it some time. Okay, that's US 30. Nasdaq, you can see, like, let's compare. You can see we have both very nice pushes, and it's finally Nasdaq actually goes up for a bit, because you can see US 30 is already at the extreme zone and Nasdaq is just started to come in. So I think the indices are all of them, when all of them align, when all of them are at their supply zones, and this means that maybe US 30 is gonna break up a little bit and come in a little bit higher, right? But when Nasdaq comes into the supply, it comes in a little bit higher, that is when we're gonna have something happen and the market is gonna drop, right? So I'm coming in from the future, throwing a little forecast right there. But as you can see, Nasdaq has been chopping for quite a while, and right now we're having a little bit of a bullish sentiment right now. And yes, we have seen the tech stocks recover. We have seen them recover, a little bit of optimism. They're way too low. It's actually a good time to invest in companies that you really believe in, right? I'm not great into tech. Like, I've never invested in Facebook. I've never invested in Amazon, in Google as well. I don't understand them, and they also don't pay a dividend, which is a huge thing for me. So I'm actually happy I'm not investing in them, because my portfolio will be really red right now, and it has been green all the way during this crash. So I'm really proud. But yes, Nasdaq is about to come in right there. So yeah, I'm looking to see how it's gonna tap, hopefully take out this zone, and then from here I'm gonna be dropping to the 40 time frame to evaluate what is happening. Currently, again, it's just in a push phase, so nothing you can do. Nothing you can do, but what you can do is keep following the longs. If you wish to day trade, then of course you can look for pullback and continuation higher. So this is how I'm going to be looking at Nasdaq. S&P is finally also tapping into the zone. So again, after tapping 35, we initiated a little bit of a pullback. The daily time frame also aligned right there. It pulled back and gave us a couple of longs. I haven't bought any stocks recently. Why? Well, because they're right now pushing up and maybe in a pullback phase. So I don't want to buy in a pullback phase and then suffer the push, right? I'm going to be buying on the push down if we have it. Okay, so this one looks very good right now. S&P looks very good. Break of structure down, very nice push, pullback into this. We can of course go a little bit higher towards this. So I'm going to be looking to sell from anywhere right there, and I would be expecting the market to drop. I want to show you a pattern, right? Have a look here. 1 year ago, we were at 72. Great. So where were we actually 1 year ago? And that is November. November right there, November 12th, exactly the day that I'm recording this right now. We were at 74 greed, very greedy. Look what we did later, right? But I actually want to go to the chart right now. Where were we in November? October, there we go. At November, we were at the top, extreme greed. Well, look what happens right now. Right, and we have the same right now. November it is, and we're having very greedy markets right now. So same thing can happen. We can again fall. So it's all about patterns. The market repeats itself, right? And pretty much right now we are again crossing above the EA right there, the 125-day moving average, which again means that the market is turning a little bit bullish. But we have seen all the times that it actually crosses above, it tends to go down. So I do think it's preparing for a short, and it just doesn't make sense for this one to break above. I mean, inflation is here, debt is here, everything is still here, right? So it doesn't make sense for the stock market to start growing, right? But of course, the stock market is not always representative of the economy, because it's built by companies, right? And companies can be doing great even if there is crisis, right? But majority of the time, this is not the case. So S&P tapping into this one, I'm really looking forward to see what is going to happen. Okay, I don't have any analysis, of course. If you wish to day trade, well, yeah, just keep following the hourly trend as long as you're wrong. But there is going to be, I haven't checked the economic calendar, but maybe there is something incoming that is going to turn the market bearish, and then maybe we go to 3K, around 3.1. This is my next goal. Let's actually make it, right? So this is where I would really love to see for the market come in, and that is where I'm going to deploy a lot of capital. So not financial advice, by the way. So those are the indices, and the crypto, boom, massive drop coming towards 12 to 8 to 4K. I don't know where it's going to come in, but it's coming in. FTX drama, Coinbase acquiring FTX, pretty much they ran out of money, which is something that is happening very often with crypto, which is why you crypto guys, be careful. This is, when I didn't get scammed, but I was just a victim of a bankrupt company. I lost a 5-figure sum. Since then, I just don't trust crypto. I don't trust the exchanges, because even right now, a very reputable exchange, which was FTX, went bankrupt, and they're filing Chapter 11 right now, which is something that happened with my company, Celsius, as well. And if you have any holdings inside, if you have a very big chunk of cash, or you're holding your crypto there, or you just deposit it, maybe because the exchange, this is where you usually deposit money to buy crypto, and then you have to turn it into a wallet, right? But if you were unlucky with your timing and you just deposited maybe to buy crypto and your money got stuck there, well, I'm sorry, you're not getting it back. Or like for me, the bankruptcy case for Celsius has been going for, I think, since July, right? And right now it's already at 6 months, and I don't have any money back, right? So if you lost any money in the FTX one, then I'm sorry, I'm with you, right? Massive drop to the downside, taking everything right there. And yeah, so if you wish, you can just start shorting it right now. It's very bearish, but I wouldn't say so, because you don't know where to short, you don't know how, and something else could happen. It's just very unstable market. I just don't like crypto right now. I don't like it. And once again, buy something safer, because this to me is not safe. It's good. I made a lot of money when it was buying, right? But when it's dropping right now, it's very uncertain. So wait for it to develop, wait for it to actually, again, accumulate and do its stuff. And then when it starts pumping, that is when we jump in. Right now, it's trying to short it, trying to long it is just risky to me, right? Much better time to focus on indices, as I always say, okay? So that is it. This is how I'm going to wrap it up. Again, we are having pushes everywhere in the market right now. They're coming at key weekly zones as well. So as I always say, keep following the quality time frame until you're wrong, right? And just allow for the market to develop a little bit on Monday, because we have those push phases across all the currency pairs. We need to wait for that pullback. We need to wait for the market to align, and then we're gonna strike. Okay, so I wish you a lovely weekend. I wish you an amazing week ahead of you. Let's hope we get some clean setups, because I really missed taking some clean setups. Hopefully you had an amazing week. Let me know how it was, and I'll talk to you on Flow with the Markets on Tuesday.